Hi, my name is September Menzia. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the data and measurement collection for autism spectrum disorder. Let's begin. There are 3 ways to measure and collect data. Continuous, discontinuous, and permanent product. Continuous measurement records all of the behavior as it actually occurs. Recording behavior during an observation is accomplished with data collecting, including frequency, rate, duration, percentage, and latency. Continuous measurement is most often used when working with a learner one-on-one. Why? Because it gives most accurate measurements for determining if the behavior of an autistic learner is improving, staying the same, or getting worse. Let's start this session over. Frequency is measured using tally marks to count each time the behavior occurred in a session. In order to convert frequency data to rate, you simply divide the total frequency recorded during an observation by the duration of that observation. Let's observe and see how many times this behavior of falling to the floor occurs. I already tally marked once, twice. On my data sheet, I have the behavior of falling to the floor marked twice for frequency, the conversion of 2 falls to the floor for the duration of 10 seconds, for 1 fall every 5 seconds. Another form of continuous measurement is used with duration, in which the behavior is observed for a certain amount of time while it is occurring in the session. For example, the behavior of sitting on the floor would be recorded for the beginning of the behavior to the end of the behavior with the child getting up off the floor. Let's take a look. Record the duration for sitting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 seconds for that duration. Latency recording is how quickly or slowly a behavior is recorded after an opportunity is given. Let's tell this learner to sit down. Sit down. 1, 2. It took 2 seconds for the learner to sit down. Percentage data. The total number of correct desired behavior. That number would be divided by the total number of times the behavior is tested. In this data sheet, we can see that the target goal for the behavior is to respond to the question, "What is your name?" with the response being Martha. The target therefore Martha. You can see an arrow being drawn for that is the number of times in which it was asked throughout the trials. There is a response that was given with a C, I, FP, PP for response. Those mean correct, incorrect, full prompt, and partial prompt. A prompt on the next column, if any, is given with a PH, G, or M. PH being physical, G gestural, and M model. Data should be graphed frequently so that the team can analyze the learner's progress and make decisions about the behavior reduction or skill acquisition program and if it should be adjusted. This graph includes challenging behavior data from tantrums, as well as a communication graph on the same graph here. The graph results show that the frequency per hour was increasing until this treatment began for the behavior of tantrums, in which on the 5th of 2016 began to go down with less frequency per hour. We can see as well that the communication, which began with treatment, went from 0 frequency per hour all the way up in time each day to almost 10 frequency per hour. The second type of data collecting is discontinuous measurement. Unlike continuous data recording, discontinuous measurement does not record all of the behavior as it actually occurs. While it is helpful to have discontinuous measurement for instances when the recorder is too busy with multiple tasks in a session, the disadvantage is that the data gathered is not as accurate as continuous measurement. The types of measurement used is partial interval data, whole interval data, and momentary time sampling. Procedure for partial interval. Recording the presence or absence of a behavior during many consecutive brief intervals. If the behavior occurs in the interval, circle a plus sign. If not, circle the minus sign. It is used for behaviors without a clear beginning or end, such as arm flapping or taking notes in class rather than doodles on the page. Tally the total number of intervals for that duration in which behavior occurred, and then divide that number by the total number of intervals you have observed. Then multiply that number by 100 to get a percentage. Whole interval data is opposite of partial data. Instead of recording if the behavior occurs in any part of the interval duration, as seen here, you would circle a plus if in any moment of this duration the behavior occurs, such as the vocal stereotypy. It occurs in this duration, it gets a circle. If it does not occur in the duration at all, it gets a minus. Whole interval requires the behavior to be present for the entire duration, then marked with a plus. So if whole interval data, you need a plus if for the entire 5-minute duration, the behavior of rocking was done for a complete 5 minutes, and each duration is 5 minutes. If the rocking ends somewhere in that duration period, you would circle with a minus. The last form of discontinuous measurement is momentary time sampling. Look at the chart below. There are 20 intervals being used in which there is a plus or minus circled. Give a plus if the behavior occurred right at the moment the interval elapsed. For example, if you were collecting data on hand flapping for a learner with autism, and that behavior occurred at the end of the 5-minute interval, you would record a plus for that moment only, even though for that 5-minute duration there was no behavior of hand flapping. The third way to measure data is permanent product recording. This kind of measurement should be used when the client cannot be observed. The behavior is measured by the outcome of the behavior, such as cleaning bedroom assignment. The recorder does not observe the behavior of cleaning the bedroom, but would record the outcome, either as clean or messy room after the learner had opportunity to do the behavior. Thank you for taking time to learn more on measuring and data collecting for autism spectrum disorder. This module will allow me to be as effective as possible because of my understanding of how the data is collected. While working as an autism technician, data collecting will help the other members of my team understand what progress is being made and if the treatment is working or needs to change. Included is my resource document, which was used in this video presentation. I hope the visual examples best exemplify my understanding of the material.